guys, how's it going? Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting a project I've been wanting to do for a little while now. It's a floating, the heater. It's a floating fishing cabin, or floating fishing, kind of floating dock type thing. If you've ever watched the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, you may have seen their floating fishing cabin, and I really like their design, but I can't seem to find any plans on it. So I figured I'll just design and build my own. And so that's what we're going to be starting today. So let's get started. Okay guys, so the tools you're going to need for this project are a drill, maybe some drill bits, a hammer, some kind of saw. I like to use a jigsaw just for cutting the wood, the lumber, and you're gonna need something to draw a straight edge with and mark your measurements. So I'm using a speed square. You're also going to need a pencil to mark your measurements, and you're going to need a tape measure to make those measurements. Now, some things you're not going to need, but I recommend you use, is some hearing protection, and to protect your hands from getting cut, you're going to want some gloves. Now let me show you what all you're going to need for this part of the building process. Okay, so for this part of the building process, you're gonna want to use, I found that 2x4s, or as a lot of you guys call them, studs, are cheaper than like 1x6s or 2x6s or whatever you might use for your frame of the platform, like the supports and braces underneath your deck. So I found you're gonna want 12 2x4s by 8s for your braces. And then I grabbed 4 8-foot 2x2s, which you can see right there. You're gonna want 4 8-footers, and these are gonna be used to bolt these sections of 2x4 together. And so I will show you, at the end of this video, I'll show you how those help connect the sections of platform together. So the hardware you're gonna need to assemble this project, I found at Home Depot, I found that these 3/8" boxes of Create a Bolt nuts, washers, and lock washers are good. Instead of having to go through and find each nut and each washer, I just grabbed 2 boxes of these. They have 6 of each, both lock washer, washer, and nut. Those are gonna go with your 3/8 by 6" carriage bolts. There's 5 per box here. I grabbed 2 boxes. I probably should have grabbed 3, but if you'd have seen the receipt, you would have grabbed 2 of them as well. I grabbed these 1 5/8" screws. They're gonna be good for like probably the 2x2s. Connecting those to these, the studs. I also grabbed some 3-inch screws, like, so that I could connect the studs together and have a really strong connection between them. And yeah, so that's all the hardware you're gonna need for this part of the building process. Let's get started. All right, guys, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna wanna take four of your studs, and you're going to want to cut them into 4-foot sections. And then once you have those 4-foot sections, you're going to take 3 inches off of each 4-foot section. Now the reason for this is because when you add 2x4s and you put the 4-inch section between them, two of these are 3 inches thick. So when you put a 4-foot section in between here, it would be 4 foot 3 inches. So you're gonna take 3 inches off of those instead. Okay? Now the reason you're gonna wanna take 3 inches off of those and not just leave it 4 foot 3 by 8 is because we're gonna put a 4 foot by 8 foot piece of plywood on top of it. So please cut each one of these into 4-foot sections, 4 of them. 4 8-foot studs into 4-foot sections, so you'll have 8 4-foot sections. I know that's a lot of numbers. 8 4-foot sections, and then cut 3 inches off of each 4-foot section. Okay? Let's get started. Alright guys, so for the first part of this process, you're gonna want your tape measure, your marking tool, either a pencil or a marker, and your straight edge or speed square or square, whatever you want to use. So you're going to take each of your 4 studs and you're going to measure out 4 foot on each one. Well, first you want to make sure each one is actually 8 feet. This one is. So measure out 4 feet and mark it. Then take your straight edge and mark that. Okay? Then you're going to cut 3 inches off of each. You're gonna mark 3 inches on either side of that mark, of that 4-foot mark. So that now each section is 3 foot 9. Okay? Sorry for that. And then make a little squibble on the parts that you're going to cut off. So as you can see, I am not going to cut this center line. I'm going to cut these 2 outer lines. And these will be my braces on either side for the platform. Okay? Now I'm going to do it on all the other ones. Okay guys, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut each board on the marks I made. Okay guys, now we're going to start cutting the wood. go. Okay guys, once that's all done, you're gonna take two of your sections that you just cut, and remember, measure 4 feet. Let me find it. Measure, that was the 4 foot mark, and I cut 3 inches off either side. So now you won't have to cut any more. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay 1 or 2 of your 8 foot sections out on the floor, and you're gonna take 2 of your, we'll just call them 4 foot sections, and lay them out in a rectangle. Let me show you what I mean. Okay guys, so I laid an 8 foot section and one of the 4 foot sections out in kind of a L shape. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna screw these together with some of the 3-inch screws and screw those together. And see, you're gonna put your 4 foot sections on the insides of the 8 foot sections so that you don't have to cut the longer ones. Okay, so let's screw them together. So guys, you're gonna wanna lay these out in a rectangle, but on your floor, but because of my limited space in the garage, I'm gonna make 2 L sections and screw them together that way. So take 3 screws on each corner, okay? And before you screw them together, you're gonna wanna take some kind of square and just make sure your boards are lined up correctly. Okay, and then just screw them together. Okay, so because my cut wasn't all that straight, as you can see, the wood is no longer square anymore. But when we put these together, I'll make sure to bend it so that it will be square. So let's do this a couple more times, but I'm not gonna film it. Okay guys, as you can see, I got all the 4 frames put together. They do equal 4 by 8. See how the 3'9" sections are in between. So now this is 4 foot on all of these. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your 2x2 by 8s, and you're going to cut them in half so that each piece is 4 foot. And what you're gonna do with those, with the when you cut those in half, you're gonna put one on kind of the top lip of each 4 foot side. So here, let me get one. You're gonna take one of these, and you're gonna, once you cut it in half, obviously, you're gonna put it just about like that on the top. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna give you a place to mount your carriage bolts, which are right here. So go ahead and cut these in half like I'm about to do. Screw them to one of the edges of the board on the short side, and then I'll tell you. So that'll give you a place to be able to basically just tie all these together and make one big floating whatever you want to add. It's kind of like, if you go back in my videos, it's kind of like that one where I did the 1/12 scale floating dock. And remember I said, now you can leave the video here if you would like and do whatever you want on top. This is kind of the same thing, where once you build the frames and then put those 2x2x8s on and connect all these and put plywood on them and all that, just do whatever you want. And I'm gonna use, so the Outdoor Boys, they used 18-gallon Sterilite bins from Walmart, but I'm gonna end up using 55-gallon drums. And the reason for that is, you're probably like, well, they're not as stable. Well, they probably aren't as stable, but I have a place, I have an auto shop in my town where I live, where I can get them for free. So, I just get the 55-gallon drums for free, and when I get those, I'll show you how to mount them, how many you're gonna probably think about needing, and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna cut these 2x2x8s, put them on, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like after that. All right, guys, I've assembled each section for as much as gonna get done today. I put the 2x2x8s on after cutting each one in half. So there's 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet, which adds up to 16. And then I put all the carriage bolts I had on, and each one has a flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. These are 3/8 by 6 inch, or excuse me, they're 3-inch, or one of these times I'll get it, guys. It's a 3/8 inch by 6 inch carriage bolt. You can find them at Home Depot, boxes of 5 for like 25 bucks. I bought 2 boxes, that's $50. I need 6 more carriage bolts over there. So what do you need, bud? That's Sam, by the way, guys. Say hi, Sam. Oh. He's being a little camera shy today. So I need 6 more carriage bolts over there. Like I said, each one has a flat washer, lock washer, and nut. This point in the project is about $150 at Home Depot, with current lumber prices and prices on bolts and things. I also bought a couple boxes of screws, so this will get you about $150. Plywood's probably gonna be another $100 to $200. And then flotation. You can figure out what you want to do there. I'm going to use 55-gallon drums, like I said earlier in the video. But next time I work on this, I'll keep you guys posted. See you next time.